Lovely. Okay, well, let's begin then. So, great, lovely. So a bit of a recap would be good. And right, I'm going to share my screen. Desktop 1 will be fine. That can go there. Get rid of that. Open Radar Opus. Okay. So the basics are, here are your list of patients. Mine are, I've set mine to Congress mode, which is actually a really helpful feature, which hides your patient names and just leaves the initials. So really important for doing things like this. So this is your list of patients, which no doubt you guys will know about. And to create a new patient, I just go ahead and click on the drop down or Command N or Control N. That creates a new patient. And you go into administrative by default. If you're in a hurry, you can go into the consultation mode straight away. But normally, we're going to enter these details first. And just to hide this table of contents, I'm going to double click on the Open tab. So you see I've got two tabs now, Administration and Consultations. And the first step is just to enter the name. MA. That'll do. I've got too many demos these days. So you can specify the gender. That you can specify if the person is, gender neutral or transsexual, or, you can basically, with these fields, you have something called a pick list, and those are marked by the downward arrow there. And if you want to add anything, you just click this plus, and you can type. And then once you've typed something, this little disk icon will highlight, and then you can click and it will save. Okay, and you can put the title in if you're going to be very proper. Again, you can add here as well if something's missing. And, there's lots here, and you can really go to town if that's what you like to do. Bear in mind that if you're wanting to use the invoicing features, you have to enter in, the VAT number or the tax code and the address and all that sort of thing. This is quite useful, if you wanted to enter some notes. Okay, so that's step one. There's also this tab where you can enter in the marital status, the profession, hobbies, things like that. So this is stuff that you might have on your questionnaire, and you might feel like you want to take it from there and put it into this page. What you can do, which you might not be aware of, is in the patient list, you can actually add some of these categories. So if you have put in like profession or something, you can add it in here along with the name and gender. Like I've put in last consultation date, and that means you can then sort by the last consultation date. So if you want to change the sorting, you just click on the header, then it changes according to their last name or their first name or the consultation date. So this is like obviously a long time ago. These are the demo cases that are installed when you first put Radar Opus on your computer and going back. And so down here, I'll have my latest patients. So that's quite useful. If you want to add, columns to the table of contents here, you click the configuration icon, and then you just add whatever you want here. So you see, you just tick box, put a tick in the box that you want to see here. Okay, so I've just gone for last consultation date, but you might find things in here that will suit your way of working and that you want to see at a glance. And by the way, if you use this button here to hide the clipboards, you can actually expand this table of contents. So you could put in more fields here. And that's a useful button. Like when I'm using the patient file, I often hide the toolbar and clipboards to give me more space to type my notes. And this icon is for sending invoices. So basically, if you have input the information for the patient's address and everything, you can just, import here from the administrative window, which is quite useful. So that would all then populate these fields, and you'd then be able to create an invoice by clicking here, and you can state that it's for homeopathy, put in the amount, and then, obviously if you've entered their email, you can send it or you can print it from here. This is all stuff that I personally don't use this side of it, but I know some people will want to, so just going to take you through it. Okay, so basically you want to enter in the name and the gender and the title, and then that's it. You click on the disk icon to save, and then you move into the consultations. Okay, so if I wanted to take some text, here's a case from Anna Vivarka's book, Rare Remedies for Difficult Cases. Basically, you can copy paste text from Materia Medica. It depends what you have set in your preferences, like mouse function, you can set to drag and drop, which means you can pull symptoms out from Materia Medica, or you can choose highlight text. But even if you have drag and drop selected, if you hold down the Alt key, you can still do the drag and copy. So Command C on a Mac to copy, Control C on a PC. Then I'm going to move from my References tab to my patient file, and then I can just paste in here. Okay. And by default, mine is set up to have a larger font size. So that's obviously not worked. That's how mine would normally look. So basically you type in your text, and then once you've filled, a box, you press the tab key to open a new box. And that's quite important because if you want to do any tagging or grading of different patients' symptoms or statements, you need to keep them all in their own separate boxes like this. Okay, any questions so far? Is everyone happy?
Yeah, there is a question. How do we set up default for font and text size?
Cool. Okay, I'll show you. On a Mac, the shortcut for preferences is Command comma. So you just press that. On a PC, you go up to Tools, and then you click on Options. And on a Mac, you go to Radar Opus and click on Preferences. Okay, and so that opens your preferences. Then you click on Patient Setup. And basically, you think, where is it? Well, you've got to click on Consultation first. And then you get all the options for your text editor. So I like Avenir a lot, so I've used that. And for some reason, the text editor, you have to choose quite a large font, and it sort of displays it there with the preview. So for me, 18 is fine. And then you can change the font and color for the different intensity settings. So if you have the diamond engine of the patient file, you can grade any number of symptoms, which is really helpful. And you can change these settings here. So you click color and you can change the color, and font likewise, you can change it. So the way this is dealt with is slightly different between Mac and Windows, and they both have different fonts available on them as well. So find something that you like, but that's where you find it. And there's a couple of other preferences here. Okay. So that's that one.
Yeah, perfect. And then someone's asking, how did you get to this window where you pasted the symptoms?
Okay. I went from so I'm just going to save. You see, whenever I make a change, the disk icon is highlighted. So I click there and change and save it. So when you create a new patient file, with Command N or Control N. By default, you'll go to administration. It's not going to let me go back there now because I'm in Congress mode and it thinks that I've got patient's details there that you shouldn't see. So let's say I'm in administration mode. I just click on consultations and it opens the text editor. And that's it. So you just click here and then it opens and then you type the symptoms in there. Okay. And then also by default, this box, these text fields will be showing. So I have them hidden because it gives me a bit more room, but actually they're pretty useful and it's important to enter them. So like here, you can state whether it's chronic or acute. And here you can put in the chief complaint. And if it's not there, in fact, you have to populate this list yourself. So you click on the plus and then you type what the chief complaint is. We're going to assume that it is that. But if I maybe go back here. Yeah. Okay. And then if I wanted to, I could take some more text, copy, and go back to the patient tab and then paste. So it's obviously the font used in Radar Opus is obviously overriding the font. If I were to just type, you'll see that it is actually doing Avenir at 18 point. Okay, so that's basically how you open a patient file and start writing your notes. You can state here, if you work in multiple settings like clinic or home, you can put those details in. And it just, it automatically does the date and the time, which is helpful. So then the next stage is obviously that you would start finding symptoms. So, these are very, very basic symptoms that you probably wouldn't take, anxiety and insecurity, but maybe tightness in the heart. So I could go up to my search and type constriction, heart. You don't have to finish the word. You can put an asterisk there and it will find different endings. Like if there were symptoms that had constricting rather than constriction, it would find them. Okay, and I could take any, I could go to my favorite repertory and take, a particular one of these, or I could use the checkbox to select, from different repertories if I wanted to combine FATAC. Actually, synthesis is a combination of most of these repertories anyway, but I might want to add something from Manjulavori's repertory. Or if I wanted to be really all-embracing, I could take all of these. Oh, hello. So you right-click and take all rubrics into and create a new combined rubric. So that's something you can do in Radar Opus. Sorry, just having some tea. Okay, and we're just going to wait for that to open my analysis. I've said it before many times, mine is a little bit slower because of the editing work that I do. And there we go. So we've got a symptom there. And cactus, the leading remedy by degrees. So then I would just go back to the patient file. And now that I've added a symptom, I need to click the disk icon and that will save it. Double click the tab to go full screen. And then basically I can look at the overview here and it gives me the consultation number, the date, the analysis that I've got, the chief complaint, etc. So I'm going to go back to the text editor, which is denoted by the pencil icon. And then I'm going to go down and enter my prescription. So it has got a pick list here as well. So you can click there and then start typing the name of the remedy and the potency that you're going to use. I'm going to use 1 LM1. In Europe, it's Q, 50 millisomol. So that's what we use. And the posology, I'm going to say, so if you Sorry, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Basically, whenever there's a pick list, you can either click here or you can press F9. And I'm a bit of I like shortcuts. And then once you've, looked at this list and you can add to it again, but it's fairly complete anyway. You can put dynamized oral drops and laboratory. You can add to it, but I tend to use Helios. And that's it. I've entered my prescription. I click the small disk to save, and that's it. And the pathology I can enter as well. I guess maybe there's a different, more technical term in there. So these pathologies all have a specific code. So it's not something I know a massive amount about, but there are 1,450 of them. So I'm guessing these are used in conventional medical diagnosis. So I'm not going to mess around finding the exact thing there now, but you can enter in the pathology here. And that's helpful because you can then later on search for it as well. Okay, so that is the basics really. That is all saved now. And if I click on the patient list and type in, what was it, demo, April, there it is. So that's come up. You can see the last consultation was today. All right. And then the other important thing that I need to show you is what happens when you create a new, a follow-up. So what we do is click on the pencil with a plus, it creates a follow-up, and you can put in, the chief complaint again. And the type of consultation, we're going to now put in that it's chronic case follow-up. And you'll see if I go back to this one at the top, I can then enter in an evaluation from here. So if there's been moderate improvement, I can enter that here. And you'll see that by default, I can view the first consultation with the second one underneath. Then I can start typing here. And when it comes to the prescription, I can show that all consultations here, so I can see how I'm moving through the case. I can enter in my second prescription here. Let's just say we move to LM2. Okay, and you don't have to enter in everything there. You can just save. And by basically this window here is it should show and hide itself. Sometimes it seems to get stuck like it is now. And if that happens, there is a shortcut to open and shut it, and it's Command L or Control L. So that will open and close it. For a list of all the shortcuts, just click to Help and then click on Useful Shortcuts. But you'll also see here it tells you, there's a command for it up in the Edit menu, Show Hide Prescription. Okay, so that's the basics that we've gone over again. I'll just check in if anyone has any questions.
Yep, we have, where is the improvement field, Luke?
Okay, yeah, so basically you need to make sure these fields are showing, and the general evaluation one will only appear once you've created a second, like a follow-up, because otherwise there's no, you couldn't evaluate it unless the person's come back. So that's not showing when you've only got one appointment there. And this is basically like a shortcut to the evaluation window, which you click on the scales. So you can see that it's already added that into here. So when I get to this part of the patient file, I get some additional tools for evaluating my patient's progress. So I can put in the patient's evaluation, or I can put in the general state. And then with the prognosis, you'll see here there's an interesting list of, sort of homeopathic philosophy about how remedies can react. So if it was, this is always a nice one, amelioration without aggravation, that's what we all want. And, it says here that is an indication of functional disease. Whereas here, deep pathology, which in this case, it is. So we could put that in, we can enter additional notes. And then when it comes to the end of the, either the patient's feeling so much better that they don't need to come back, you can click on conclude this case. But I have to enter in a pathology code there. So I would have to go back, but I can show you that in a one that I've made earlier. So that's basically the evaluation window.
Okay, perfect. And then I don't think you went over this, but how to clear a previous analysis from the clipboard for the follow-up visit.
Okay, yes. So by default, it's going to copy the analysis for consultation number 2. If I wanted to delete that, I could right click here and delete the repertoirization. So now that's gone, and I just have it in consultation number 1. Okay, so basically you click on the overview button, which is this sort of calendar, and then you come over here and right click where the analysis is, and you can delete.
Okay, perfect. And is that the same with the prescription, Luke? You can also delete a prescription that way.
Let me check. I think you would come to the prescription window here, and you'd have to change it here if you wanted to adjust, if you made a mistake. You can actually add like multiple prescriptions to one consultation as well. If someone did prescribe more than one remedy, it's possible, let's say, for argument's sake, they were going to prescribe this remedy as well. You just have to make sure you select the right consultation date here, and it will be linked back to consultation number 1. So that is also possible.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And yes, if you want to delete it, and there you go. You can right click and delete the selected row. And there it's gone. So okay. Yeah, that is how you do it. You can print the prescription, but I'll be straight up with you. There is a bug. So if I click there, I can't get rid of that window anymore. So I'm not going to click there. I don't know if that bug's there on Windows as well. But so yes, we'll find out when some of you try that. Okay. Was there anything else at this point, Hannah?
Yeah, no, that's it so far.
Okay, cool. Okay, so, when you're finished, you can just close the patient file there. And what I will do is open one. And when you open a patient, it's going to ask you if you want to open the last analysis. I'll just say no for now, because you might not need to see it, especially if you're going to be working on the next visit and what they say. So I've kind of really gone to town on this patient file because I'm using it for a demonstration basically. So we've got consultation number 1, we've got the remedies that were prescribed. The first one didn't help very much, so then we moved to the second one. There's got the type of consultation has been entered. That was where I've added that one myself. So you click on the you click to open the pick list, and then use the plus icon. You can add anything you like here. Like sometimes I get a lot of emails, so I will copy paste the email into a new consultation and then set this option. or I have a phone call. So, you know, you can really track what is actually going on. Okay, so I don't need to see that now. I can hide it. Then I can work and see the text editor. I'm going to hide the clipboards as well and the toolbar. So I'm sort of focusing now on on typing the case. So basically you can add different tags to the patient file, which helps you then to navigate your way around later. So this one here is the history, basically. So it gives you access to a kind of timeline of the patient. And this one is their past medical history. This one, this is physiological history. So it's a kind of like objective and subjective. That's the way I might think of it. You've got family history, and this one is useful. You know, just marks it as an important symptom. And then you've obviously got grading. Now, with the grading, I sort of use that a lot because it's quickly accessible. I don't always use it in a traditional way that, you know, that the symptom is intense or repeated, or has a, you know, strong, you know, impact on the patient a lot. I might use it more that I feel that it's an important thing for me and how I'm understanding the case. So it's pretty adaptable how you want to use it. It just allows you to highlight things. So basically you've got this column for your text. This column allows you to put in attachments. It allows you to tag according to these set of tags here. So you can actually see the way this is laid out. Everything here up to this line relates to the text. Everything here up to this line relates to this column, and everything past that column goes in. Actually, no, that goes in this column too. Anyway, this column to the very right allows you to add your own tags, basically. So if I open this pick list, you'll see it has already some tags populated within that. These are ones I've added myself. Kind of started by following the format there, but you can do whatever you want, really. So you've got things like keynote, concomitant, symptom improving, duration, alternating. So pretty useful things that you can mark up your text with. If we go to the next page, I've started putting in things like, you know, left side of the periodic table, you know, rubric as in, oh, I can find a rubric for that. Strange, rare, peculiar. Kent's, you know, does that relate to the will or the understanding? Then various families. As I'm thinking of a family, if it's not there, I'll just quickly add it. So you'll build up your own list as you go. And, you know, this is only part of the Diamond package, by the way. So if you're not seeing these options that I'm showing you, check in what package you have. Okay, so these just, you know, as you need, you just add tags as you're going. And then all you have to do is to start typing. Like if something was a, you know, I could, so you basically have to make sure the cursor is in this right hand column, and you press F9 or open the pick list with the arrow. And let's say it was a polarity, I would start typing and then press enter, and then it pops up. And if it's wrong, I can delete it. So
now, Luke.
Yep.
How some people are only seeing 2 columns instead of 3 columns. Is that their package?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So what you can do is go to the first thing you can do is in your Radar Opus, click on help, and then click on license information. And that will say your engine, which is in this case Diamond. The other thing you could do is contact your representative, and they could tell you for sure. And then if we go to, let me just open a browser. if you go to the radaropus.com website, you can check exactly what is in each package and what is in each engine. So products, Repertoirizing, engine types, feature comparison. I'll pop this in the chat now, so you've got the link. So you can see it's mini, silver, gold, and diamond. Regarding the patient file, you want to look at this section here. So those people might only have the silver engine by looking at it quickly, mini or silver. Pretty sure the gold engine has that, but I might be wrong. Ooh. How do I get back? I've lost. Hang on. Let's do this.
Okay. And then, Luke, does this list alphabetize by itself?
The list, the list, this one here.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what they're, here, let's see. Yes, that one there.
Okay,
yes.
So this list comes with lots of these, like all these first things that you see come built into the program. But when you want to add anything yourself, you click on the plus. Let's say I want to add, just that it's a particular, and then save. Okay, and then if I wanted to, so this is a particular, I make sure the cursor's in the, the third column. Click F9 or this little arrow, then start typing the thing that I want, and I've doubled up there. You just double click on the option that's correct. So it's a bit time consuming, but if it's a tricky case and you're having trouble, knowing exactly where to go with it, it can be helpful to go to this level. And what it means you can do is you can right click in the text anywhere, and then you can limit the text. So let's say I just want to look at the modalities. Click there, and then I just get my modalities up. So then when it comes to repertoirizing, so keeping cool ameliorates when they have the fever. So I could then look for, cold applications ML, yeah? Because it was sponging. Cold applications ML, I've got search in all repertories selected. I can launch the search. Then I could find that. So let's say, for argument's sake, let's go for generals. Okay, and let's say I want to now combine everything from those repertories. Right click, take all rubrics. And there's a shortcut for that. It's Command Enter or Control Enter. And that will take everything there. And that will make sure you get, you can make the most of the different repertories we have in the program. So there we go. Okay. So you can do that with any tag essentially. And then you right click and just untick that option. Then you right click again, and then you check something else. So if you wanted to look at the thermal state, you can do that. And you can actually see here, there's a little note to show that you've limited your text to a tag. So what this enables you to do, which is quite nice, is I could just drag around that and copy. Then I'll open my mind map. This is actually a different case. So I'll just show you quickly. This is just a different application called Simple Mind. Nothing to do with Repertoirizing. And then call this modalities. Yeah, so you can sort of quite easily extract information from the patient file into another program. So let's say I wanted to look at the important symptoms. So here it's got its own option, limit the text to only important symptoms. So then I could maybe take some of these. I could then actually probably sort them by intensity as well. Yeah. So now I've got important symptoms by intensity. And I could put that in here. And, you know, it just might help you to extract the information that's going to help you make your prescription and find your rubrics. And then what you can do is take a screenshot. On a Mac, you do Command-Shift-4, and then you draw around the section you want to screenshot. There we go. Then I go back to Opus. Then I'm just going to get rid of those limits. And then I'm going to add an attachment using the attachment icon. Add an image. Go to my screenshots folder. Down to the bottom where the most recent one is. And then open. And you'll see now if I click on the attachment icon, these are the two screenshots I have, one of my repertoirization and one of the mind map that I was just making. Okay. What else have we got that I can show you? Yes, so it's a bit related to that process of extracting useful information. And it's this option which is called free fields. If you click there, it opens up some boxes, and basically you can do whatever you like with these. You click on the pencil and you can name each box according to however you like. So I've sort of followed Sankaran's 8-box method after I attended a seminar of his and, you know, got the book. And it just is I've kind of loosely followed that. So if there's something, you know, to do with the diagnosis, pathology, etc., it goes in here. If it's a local or an SRP symptom, it goes up here. So you can see why having the tags that relate loosely to your boxes would really help, because you just make the tag, limit the text to that tag, copy, and then paste it into these boxes. So these are generals or causations or modalities, mental symptoms and themes or polarities, dreams, delusions, fears, different situations that affect them, then the effect on the patient, and I've put Mapamundi there as well. Then you might put in the miasm here, the sensation or the source information that comes through in their case. And then like the genius of the case, you know, what does it boil down to, or the synthesis. Okay, and that's just a really useful tool. Again, you know, it's one that takes a bit of time to do it, but if it is a tricky case, or you're teaching or preparing something for publication, then this is really helpful at organizing information. Okay. So then we've got here, basically you can save different analyses to each consultation. And every time you make a change, the program will ask you, do you want to overwrite the last one or add a new analysis? So if you're wanting to keep things nice and clean, you'll tend to overwrite. But sometimes you might, you know, have like created a really big repertorization and got a bit lost, and then say, I'm going to scrap that and start again. And then you can start again and but you can still see both, you see. So if I were to open this one, I can see what I did. And it's nice in Opus using the different clipboards, you know, each one can be slightly different in style, using different rubrics. So obviously only physicals there, and looking more at the constitution and the causation. And then a much more psychologically focused clipboard. And this was all done a little bit hastily, so some of these things should probably be grouped, but I was doing it as I went. Specific rubrics to the fever, miasmatic rubric. That was just a word search where I searched for, jerking within 4 words of sleep in children. And an actual rubric that I found related to that. So if you want to just see all of them together, you can press F8 twice, and then that comes up with all of them. So it's, why I gave Ignatia first. But actually, when I opened up my good friend, the expert system, it helped bring out carcinosin, which did help move the patient on much more successfully than Ignatia. Okay, any questions?
We don't have a question, Luke, but I did receive a question earlier. And is there a way that somebody can upload labs into a patient file?
I do believe there is, yes. Okay. We need to open hang on, what's this? Yeah, is that it? Tests. Or are they wanting to upload documents?
I think they want to upload documents if they can.
Yeah, so you can attach anything you like here. So PDFs, Word documents, Excel files, or any file, basically. And just be aware that if you're adding big files like videos, your Repertoirizing backup will get really big because they get stored within that. I made that mistake before. So if you put videos in, make sure they're short and not really high quality, like you've compressed them down. But you can put in audio recordings, if you recorded the session or if you wanted to record a cough or something like that, you can attach that in there. It's even got dictation. So I don't think it would be trustworthy enough to use with the, while the person's talking. But if you wanted to add your own observations rather than type, then I think the dictation would work just fine. How good is the dictation? It's not doing anything. There we go, done.
Okay.
Oh, it worked the other time. Oh, that's a shame.
Anyway. Yeah, it's shy because you're on video.
Yeah, maybe it's not picking up my microphone or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's always, I think your hypothesis is a good one. Okay, I'm going to close that patient file then, and then I can get rid of that analysis. So Command-Shift-N will delete all of the clipboards. And don't worry, they're all saved to your analysis.
And then is this Hipaa compliant? Someone is asking that.
Yeah, it is, because you have to log in to Radar Opus with a password that you have to change every 3 months, and it has to be a complex password that includes numeric values and symbols. Okay, so that's one part of it. The other part is that none of these files can be viewed apart from in Radar Opus, so they're stored in an encrypted way on your computer and in the backup as well, so nobody can get access to that. You can also export the file. So with the patient open, you click on export patient information, and that would allow you to that would allow you to send that to the patient if they requested it. So yeah, it's GDPR and HIPAA compliant.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Do you guys have any more questions for Luke?
The other thing you can do is search in the patient file. So when I first started using it, I was just entering in my notes, and I thought it was really cool that I could highlight bits of text and then sort by the intensity. That's basically what I did. But and I often forgot to put in the prescription. I was never marking what type of case it was, or putting in evaluating the response or any of these extra things. But I've started to realize how useful that is at keeping track of what's going on in your practice. So I really value those additional facets to the patient management. Like here, I can just now that I've gone back through and entered most of my prescriptions, maybe not all, I can click here and then just search, and I can see all of my prescriptions, potencies, etc., pathologies. And then I can just extract that to an Excel file as well, which is pretty groovy. And that just comes up, you tell it where you want it to go, and you've got an Excel file with all of the patient names and remedies you gave, which is very cool. You can also search in the consultation itself. So I've chosen to search in consultations, and then here where it says text, if I wanted to look for a patient who had like OCD, just type in OCD and then search. Then I see my patients, and I could open one of those from here. So by default, we're going to the last consultation. So I can click on it here to make it hide. See that? And then I can go back to consultation number 1. And then I can review that patient file. Okay, well, I think I've shown you guys what I really wanted you to show. If there are other questions, please do let me know.
Yeah, and Luke, can you just show the attachment icon again to attach labs and videos and everything?
Yeah. Let's just create a new patient here.
Yeah, and just know that, you can definitely attach videos and pictures, but it's going to make a huge backup file for you.
What's this? Certifications? No. Oh, that's the National Health Code. Yeah, I think you just attach it in the patient file itself. ID card.
I think it was in the consult.
Yeah. So you just go into consultations, and then it's this icon here. Yeah. I was just trying to see if there was anything in the admin side to do specifically to do with lab reports. Okay. You can certainly put in different tests that they've had here. Yeah, but basically click there, add whatever you want. The other thing I was going to say, because some questions come up with this where it's like, oh, can I take one analysis and merge it with another one? And it is possible, but it's a little bit fiddly, basically. So let's say I open one of my patients, that last one I opened there. Go to my overview here. So let's say I've got this repertorization and that one, and I wanted to combine them or merge them. What I'd have to do is first click on one of them. Just wait for that to open. And then basically what you have to do is save it as a case outside of the patient file. Nice example of Jeremy shares QRep there. Great repertory, very helpful. That's my remedy. So basically what you would do is Command S or right click on any of the clipboards, save analysis. Then you need to save it to a folder and give it a name. So that's fine. And it's going to go into your default folder. You can create new folders, by the way. So I tend to use I save things in a folder if they're just research or, you know, something not related to a patient. So I'll just put that in and then save. And then go back to my patient. Click on the other repertorization here. So in this one, I've done more of a reverse repertorization to check that everything in the case was there. So let's say I now want to merge that other analysis with this one. I would do Command R or right click over here and choose recall. What you have to do is click this option, merge, and this one here, use the first three clipboard. Otherwise it would sort of put them onto clipboard 1 and it would get confusing. So, no, what was it? HJ there. So I've got these both selected here, both ticked, and then recall. And now you see those symptoms pop up in the second clipboard. Okay, so it's a little bit fiddly, but it is doable. And that's it from me. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Okay, great, Luke. There is quick question.
Yeah, cool.
Let me find it. Sorry. Okay. Oh, how to save a backup. You just stopped sharing your screen.
Oh, yeah, how to make a backup.
Yes. Which I am assuming can be accessed even if the program is not working. Yes, because your backup saves to your computer, and so you can always access those files.
Yeah, in fact, every time you quit Radar Opus, it asks you, have you made a backup? Do you want to make one? But if, you know, if you've always said, no, go away, this is an annoying message, I just want to quit, you can make a backup at any point by going to the top menu bar, click on Tools, go to Database Management, click on Backup, and then you can choose what you want to back up, or you can let Radar Opus choose, which is usually fine. It will do everything. Then you click Next. You select a place where you want it to back up. So you see I've got mine going to an expansion drive. So you just click Browse, click Next. It tells you what it's going to save. Then you click Start, which I won't do now because mine will take a long time. Yeah. So the things which take a long time in the backup are if you have a lot of patients with a lot of attachments, and if you've made a lot of additions to the repertory, then your backup will take 10 minutes or so to do. So just do it when you've got an idle moment and not when you've got a patient just coming through the door. I tend to back up once a month as a rule of thumb, and then I'll go back and delete things from maybe 3 months ago, delete old backups, because like mine's quite big, my backup file.
Okay, perfect. And then Luke, is this being recorded to your computer? Or the cloud?
It might be going to the cloud. It's recorded.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll make sure that this is put on the Radar Opus Academy then.
Cool. Nice.
Okay.
It might be recording on my computer. I'm not sure. It's definitely recording though.
It's definitely recording. If it is, then just send it to me.
Okay, cool. And without it being a prescription, how can you show that? Orally, what do you mean? They self-prescribe?
Yeah, orally, I might just put that in the notes maybe, you know?
Yeah, what you can do, sorry, I keep going back. What you can do is, let's say that happened. Self-prescribed laxist CM. Oh my God. Okay, you could write that in the notes, and then up here, is it that one? Tag sentences note from the homeopath. So you can sort of make sure that you know that it's from you and not from the patient with that tag there.
Yeah.
That might be a good way to do it. Yeah. Hopefully not too many of your patients doing that.
Okay, perfect.
Hi. May I ask a follow-up question to the backup question? Yeah. So every time you back up, it's not replacing your old backup. You have to actually go back and delete it.
Yeah, that's right. So create yourself a file path, which is, specifically for your Radio Opus backups. And, initially they won't be very big. It'll only be if you, like me, stupidly attach large video files that it gets quite big. So mine's like 3 gigabytes. So I do tend to need to delete the older ones. But if you've got small backup size, it's not going to be so imperative for you to go back and delete old ones. But yeah, okay. It doesn't do it automatically. Sorry.
And you can tell them apart by the date, probably.
Yes, I'll show you what I do. Can you see my screen still? No, you can't, can you?
Oh, no.
No, we can't. Yeah, now we can.
Okay, so I have my expansion drive and then backups. And then I create a folder for each month. So April 2021. And then the name of the file includes the date. And time, I think, maybe 2021-04. So that's April the 6th. Yeah, that's the time, I think. I don't really look at it. I organize it by doing this, by creating a folder, and then it goes in there, and that's it.
Great. Thank you so much
for clarifying. Yeah, no problem. Good stuff. Well, thanks for coming, everyone. Enjoy nerding your patient file.
Thank you so much, Luke.
Thanks, Anna.
And yeah, maybe we'll have another webinar in a couple months. We'll see.
Yeah, if there's a demand for it. I feel like we've covered everything now. So with those 2 recordings, yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Okay,
as always.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.